before you ask your question?
Yeah, go ahead, you guys.
Matt, you hit the ball, you get the stop, you got to go whatever 80 yards, whatever it is, and you do it in 118. How would you describe just the way Rocco played on that drive and everyone just to get this one that, you know?
Geez, yeah, I just think the character of our team keeps showing up. You can say, boy, you love this team in January, and you can say, boy, you really like this team in spring ball. But I think the reality of it is who they have grown to become in the offseason and as a football team, the leadership, the resolve, I think it just showcased itself. I don't think there's a whole lot of words that probably can put just what happened again into play, but it's a credit to our kids believing and, executing in critical moments. And sometimes the game doesn't go the way you want it to, and certainly didn't tonight again. But I thought our ability to have resolve and just kind of hang in there. And, it's kind of what you had to do. Obviously, Rocco had to use his feet. They did some different things, in coverage. And I thought he did a great job. And, obviously you don't want to have, I think the one's a little bit of a busted coverage and a busted route on the one pick six. But, man, it's football, and you got to keep playing. And that, again, football is one of these unique sports that it's like the greatest game of bad things happening, and can you be mentally tough enough and have the resolve to just keep playing, and our kids keep doing it.
And I asked him earlier in the week, it looked like, he's getting to run the ball a little bit more, what's his goal, or does he feel about it? He says, I just want to gain 4 yards every time.
Yeah.
He did a little bit more. Can you explain that?
My challenge to him a couple weeks ago was, I really felt like if we can get somewhere between 25 and 35 yards in him rushing the football. Now, let me preface that, and with no turnovers, we're going to win a lot of football games. And so, I guess he doubled the yardage or quadrupled it, and then, turned it over a couple times. So, he kind of evened things out. But, Rocco's a really good runner. He's got great awareness, and, he's not a guy that's a elite runner. But, man, he's a really good runner and knows how to use his feet. And I thought he really did a great job as the game kind of wore on, using his feet to make, obviously, really good plays.
Matt, this is one of those weird games. You gave up 350 yards on the ground, basically kind of 2 pick sixes. How do you describe how your guys bounce back and continue to play even when the chips seem to be against them?
Well, I think, again, it really goes to great leadership in the locker room. Us coaches can't play the game, and so you have to have unbelievable senior leadership, and your best players got to stand for something that's powerful. And when that happens, I think you can navigate the storms that come in a 60-minute football game. And, we're really fortunate. I know that's one thing I have talked about all season is we have incredible leadership here. As powerful of leadership from the top down that I've ever seen. And I still believe that everything rises and falls with leadership. I really do. And when you have great leaders, powerful things can happen, and we're fortunate because our walls have them.
Matt, this is a trite sports writer question, but what did you tell your players after the game as regarding winning this and regarding what they can take from this the rest of the way?
Well, I think we talked a lot about, and we talked about this before the game. We're kind of going into what I would say is really this is like the end of the second quarter of the football season for us as we kind of spliced up the football season. And we really wanted to give ourselves great momentum going into this bye week, and we thought it was really critical. We're hanging on by a razor's edge physically right now, to be honest with you. And, to watch our kids have the endurance and the physical wherewithal to be able to finish that game and play the way they did. I just told our kids, man, I couldn't be prouder of what they did. I think there's been great belief in our locker room since we came back here in January. And the ability to give hope not only to themselves but everybody else. And, to me, there's 2 great qualities of hope. The first one is you got to be angry, and I think we were certainly disappointed with the way some of the things went last year and felt like we could grow and get better. And, I think there's a little bit of anger of, where we would like to be as a football program and feel like there's a growth process to get there. And then you got to have great courage. And to be honest with you, I think our kids have showed that since the first football game. And again, they showed it again tonight. You have to have great courage to play the game we're playing. And you got to have great courage in your process and to continue to play even when things don't go your way. So I really reemphasize those things. And then I said, man, I can't wait to get to the bye week. We got to get ourselves healthy. Fundamentally, we got to be better. There's some things that obviously not the way we want to play football tonight, but from the courage and the mentality point, I thought it was outstanding.
Coach, your guys come up big in a big moment. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I think as a coach, there's no greater gift that you could have than watching your kids play that way. And again, I said this after the Iowa game, whether we won or lost the game, you're beyond proud of what your kids stand for. And again, I think that's the chips are going to be against you, and you're going to have the ability to play through it and have great resolve and keep playing. And I would say that's one of the great characteristics, I think, of this team so far is their courage to keep playing no matter what's going on. And, that's why it's a 60-minute game. You got to keep playing. So, to me, there's nothing more I could ask of. It's great to get the win, but whether we won or lost the game, I couldn't be prouder to coach this football team.
Obviously, Coach, first quarter had those 2 touchdowns from Carson Hansen, then second quarter getting blank going into halftime. What was kind of the message to that offense going into halftime, trying to get more points?
Yeah, daggone, and I felt like we just got some rhythm, too, on that last drive. And I know Rocco did, too. I think he peaked it. I think he felt like he had something down the field, and I think he was, kind of racing against the clock, and he tried to drop it off in just a pick six. It was a great play by them. And so, I just felt like we were kind of trying to find our rhythm a little bit. And, halftime probably couldn't have come fast enough after that, to be quite honest with you. It gave us a chance to get ourselves back inside, kind of reset ourselves and really try to find the right rhythm. And, it really took till, we didn't come out and do that on that first drive, but I thought after that I really felt we found the rhythm to how we wanted to play the game. And certainly were able to get Jaden and Jalen, the ball in some critical moments, which was awesome as well.
Matt, what's it say about Rocco that he had probably his worst night throwing the ball
Right.
of the season, but still made probably half a dozen of the most critical plays of the night?
Yeah, there was another guy here that had some similar qualities. I think the reality of it is you got to be mentally tough. I mean, the quarterback position, nobody can tell me there's not another position in sport that's harder to play than that. I mean, you got the ball in your hands, everybody's judging you, and everything matters to you. And for him to have the courage to just keep playing, and boy, he took some hits tonight. I mean, physically, I think got wore down in his ability to just hang in there, his toughness, his character. And again, we've all said this, what do you love about Rocco Beck? And it's his character. And I think it exuded tonight of just exactly who he is and what he stood for. So, yeah, I think it's a great testament to him. And again, at quarterback, you're not always going to win it throwing the football. There's times where you got to use your feet and you got to have the ability to extend plays and put your team in great position. I mean, some of the scramble throws, the scramble, the one that sticks in my mind is on the right hash there on 4th down, and he scrambles and gets the ball to Jaden Higgins. I mean, that's as good a play as I've seen in the stadium since I've been here, and I mean, it's powerful. And so, those are wow moments, and those are great plays, and yeah, I couldn't be happier for him.
Looked like Ben was in Bramer was in a.
Yeah, I don't think it's serious, but I think, we'll see. And again, I think I'll know a lot more next week, and obviously when we see each other again, I'll have an update. But I think a lot of it was precautionary, which I think hopefully we dodged the bullet. Obviously Ben's critical to our football team and a huge piece of it. But, I think some of those guys stepped up and played really good tonight, but I don't think it's serious.
And then Carson only played, I think,
Yeah, Carson got dinged up. He was dinged up coming into the game. We were concerned just about his health, and a couple carries just physically couldn't do it anymore. And so, like I said, we're hanging on by a thread right now. And so for other guys to step up, I think getting this bye week here and allowing ourselves to get healthy and kind of, reset ourselves will be huge for this football team. But, again, I thought Abu stepped in, man, had some great moments tonight. And I know he's not 100% healthy, but to make some of the plays he made was awesome. Jalen keeps doing a great job, and even Easton Miller, I think, got in and did some really good things at the end of the football game. So hats off to all those guys.
I think the one word you've used more than any in this press conference is courage. Where do you feel like your team learned the courage that it plays with this season?
Oh, I think it really starts with, again, Bo Frailer, who he is, Jalen Knoll, who he is, Darian Porter. I mean, we can go through every one of our seniors, and they got such an incredible story. Even Jalen Jackson coming in and Jalen Travis. I mean, our seniors have powerful stories, and their stories are of resolve, toughness, character. And to be quite honest with you, I think that when that group has a powerful story to tell and they demand a standard of excellence in the program, then you get what you saw tonight, and that's a really courageous football team.
Matt, defensively, you guys really clamped down on their passing game, but what made Brown and Harvey just a handful to deal with on the ground?
Yeah, we can't give up big runs. I mean, and I know Coach said it earlier this week, we just haven't played great defense yet. We played good defense at times, but we haven't played great defense. And if we want to get where we want to go, we gotta buckle in, and we gotta figure out how we can be better. I mean, I think 2 explosive runs, almost over 75 plus yards. I mean, that really hasn't happened here. Now, credit them, because those are 2 phenomenal athletes, and they've got great players. I know, being quite honest with you, I know I said earlier in the week this was the most athletically talented team that we were going to play all year, at least up until this point, and it certainly was. And so give their players great credit, but we got to be better, and we weren't as good as we needed to be tonight. We were at times, and enough, but we need to be better.
And offensively, there was a stretch there where you guys had 5 3-and-outs and 6 drives. What did you guys do to break out of the funk, or was it just a matter of your leaders stepping up there?
Yeah, again, I think a lot of that happened because of Rocco. I think he was able to make some, plays with his feet that kind of, they're playing a lot more man coverage than maybe what we expected, at least early in the game. And, again, I give a lot of credit to Rocco, and no different offensively. I mean, we got to be better. I mean, I still don't think we played the kind of game we wanted to play or need to play if we want to be the team we want to be. But I think the reality of it is, on both sides of the ball, when we needed to make critical plays, we found a way to do it. And really our top players are the guys that made those plays. I mean, Bo's interception, huge. John Tez, 4 games in a row, I think that's right. And, his 4th interception in a row. And, those are all guys that, man, they've been the same guy. If you would have walked out of here on a Tuesday night at 11 o'clock in January, those guys were the guys that are sitting in the facility working on their craft. So, we're really fortunate. We got great humans that really kind of pulled us out of some tough situations tonight, for sure.
Yeah, Matt, we've talked a lot about Rocco, but there's 2 specific plays I want to ask about, both in the third quarter. He's in the grasp on a 4th and 3. He gets the ball to Jaden, keeps that drive going, you score. And then another one where he spins out of a sack. I think it was 3rd and 10 or 4th and 10, gets the ball to Abu. I mean, if you guys don't get those plays, you probably don't win this game. How critical was that, and what did you see on those?
Yeah, those are great. Those are 2 great plays. And, I didn't remember I remembered it, but now you brought it up. It was incredible, the play to Abu. But those are championship type plays. Those are when, it's on the line. Whatever the play was isn't perfect, and you have to extend the play, use your feet, and you got to put the team in the best situation to be able to move forward. And both of those plays, Rocco did it, and I think it says everything about who he is and what his character is. And I think the point of, man, you throw 2 interceptions, they go against you, whether it was somebody else's fault or not. Man, they go against you, they're pick sixes, and everybody's on you. And you got to have enough mental toughness to put your helmet back on, get back on the field, and believe in yourself enough to step back on the field and make those plays, and believe in your teammates too. And that's what makes him really special, is he believes in his teammates, and his teammates believe in him.
We got time for 2 more, right here in the front, and then Ben right here.
Hey, Coach. UCF is in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. And in many ways, especially if you look at the stat sheet, they did better tonight than they had in the previous 3 games. Is there anything you saw that they showed you that you weren't expecting on either side of the ball? And did not knowing which quarterback you were going to be facing have any impact?
Yeah, I don't know. I really felt their quarterback played such a great football game last week as the game went on. I know he didn't start, but as he came in, you could just see he brought such a spark to that team. His ability to throw the ball, his ability to use his legs. And so, honestly, I was as impressed with this team on videotape as anybody we've seen. And Coach Malzahn, we've got the utmost respect for. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's had elite success in this profession for a long time and has stood for excellence. They were the #1 rushing team coming into the football game, so I think we knew that. So I don't know per se as much as what they did. Just I really felt like they found a spark last week in the second half of the Cincinnati game, and I think they brought that spark here and played great football. And we expected nothing less, to be honest.
Matt, with that final drive, it starts out with a pass to a freshman, and your senior leaders are involved there. Is that in some ways an embodiment of kind of this entire season?
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you look at who's played for the Iowa State Cyclones this fall, and we came to camp, we got some stupid number rules that everybody's trying to enforce, and people are foolish. But 120 guys we brought to fall camp this year. 120 guys. You know how many guys have played this year for Iowa State football? 101. 101 guys have played for our football team this fall. And so the impact, and I said this, and probably I said this tongue in cheek at the first fall camp meeting, is, hey, we're going to need everybody in here. At some point, somehow, we're going to need everybody in here. And uniquely, it's been this incredible journey of so many guys having to step up in critical moments. And, from Rylan Barnes and what he's done, man, he had some great plays again tonight. You got freshmen, at linebacker, obviously Carson Brown. I think he's the guy that makes the catch, right? So to me, I think it's indicative. But again, that goes to the leadership. And I think, again, it goes to our coaches that we're going to develop everybody in our program. We're not just going to develop the top guys. And then equally, man, our senior leaders believing, hey, we're not going to leave anybody behind. Like, the reality of it is, great leadership is bringing everybody else with you. And I think that's one of the things that has been so impressive about our senior leaders is, man, we haven't left anybody behind. It doesn't matter if you're walk-on 8th string, like, we're bringing you with us, because we know we're going to need you at some point in time. And, I think it's helped us how we practice. I think so many people being involved has been critical to our success. And hopefully it'll keep allowing us to grow, because if we want to be a great team at the end of the season, man, you're going to have to get better. Like I said, man, you can't give up 300 yards rushing. You can't throw 2 pick sixes. Man, those things aren't what champions do. But, man, your ability to respond to it's awesome. Now, can we come back and practice and continue to get ourselves better? Those are going to be things that are going to be fun to watch this team keep growing. But I would say the way we practice has really helped us, and I think so many people being involved has really helped us tremendously.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we've got the players coming in. We've got Jontez Williams and J.R. Singleton, Jalen Knoll, and Rocco Becht. We'll spread them. We'll put them in the 4 corners.
Connor, where did you get Rocco? Okay.
So Rocco over there in the back corner, Jalen over here, J.R. Singleton, Jontez Williams.